A very good evening, especially to Ramendra Kumar and to all the viewers who will be joining us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever realized that sometimes silence speaks louder than a lot of noise around the world? And here is the man himself who has tried his best to raise his voice against the silence, against the torture, against the abuse that some of us do suffer behind the closed doors. The book is titled When Silence Speaks, and here is the author, Ramendra Kumar. We welcome you, Ramendra Kumar, with open arms. And
Thank
as I
you.
always call you, Top Raman is always on the top of the world. And, and
Thank
I
you. It's
would like,
always such a pleasure to interact with you.
and it is always such a pleasure to see what next are you up to. And I am first going to say a few words of introduction for our guest. Ramendra Kumar is an award-winning author, storyteller, TEDx speaker, and cancer warrior with 54 books to his credit. Known for wit, warmth, and emotional resonance, his works have been translated into 33 languages. He has won 41 All India Awards for children's literature, and his books published with the National Book Trust, NBT, have sold over 1.5 million copies. That, my dear ladies and gentlemen, is no mean feat at all. And the biggest feather in his cap, and me as a close friend says, what resilience my friend has shown throughout a war that he fought with cancer a few years ago. And here he is, shaking his legs and shaking the literary world with a lot of his beautiful, wonderful words. So, as I fondly call him Top Raman, we'll keep telling about your other achievements in a while, including your presence at Jaipur Literature Festival. I want to begin talking about the book that we are going to talk about because it has been a very impressive reading for me. Yes, if you could show our viewers When Silence Speaks. So, domestic violence is often referred to as an abuse by men. Yet, you as a man chose to research and write about it. How and when did this thought occur to you, Top Raman? I'm very keen to know.
Great question. Let me begin by sharing with the viewers some statistics. Domestic
Yes,
violence
please.
occurs in all countries and across all population strata, irrespective of the background. 30% of women worldwide experience domestic violence. In 2021, WHO called it a global hidden pandemic. And 87% of the victims in India do not report abuse or seek help. Imagine 87%. So you know how wide it is, how prevalent it is, and yet it is not addressed. Over 12 lakh cases have been registered under the Act since it was passed in 2005,
Mm-hmm.
and millions of stories of trauma have not even reached the courts. In July 2022, more than 4.71 lakh cases were pending. These statistics are overwhelming. But what made me actually, what triggered this book? My wife and I, my wife Madhvi and I, were working as general managers in Rourkela Steel Plant. She
Mm-hmm.
was heading the marketing department, I was heading corporate communications.
Mm-hmm.
One of Madhvi's colleagues, Mamta, was an AGM,
Mm-hmm.
assistant general manager, and she was in a live-in relationship with her partner, whose name was
Mm-hmm.
Prasad.
Okay.
He was working in Rourkela Government College. So the first couple of years, where the honeymoon period, everything was hunky dory, and the life was smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Then Mamta got her promotion, her salary became more than Prasad's. Nivedita, in Rourkela steel plant, everything is centered around the steel plant in the city of Rourkela.
Yeah.
And this guy who was working in a government college started feeling kind of isolated in social gatherings. And the fact that his wife had got promotion, she was earning more, it started rankling him. And that monster, that ogre, raised its ugly head. So there were tips and there were issues which Mamta would often share with Madhvi, and Madhvi would counsel her. But one day things went too far. He beat her up. And
Oops.
yeah. And that was the time when she broke down. And what we decided was we went to her place and got her home. And I consulted a lawyer friend of mine who told me that there is a particular solution to the issue, but a step which Mamta can take. But if she takes that step, then future reconciliation might not be possible because this step would
Possible.
result in the arrest of Prasad. We talked to Mamta. She said she wants to go ahead because she's had enough of the covert and the overt violence. So then she took that particular step, and to know what happened, you'll have to read the book. But that was the starting point. That was the trigger. And then I went and into a lot of research, primary data, secondary data. I interviewed people and pieced this book together. And let me share that this has been the toughest book for me to write, and you can imagine why.
Yes, totally can imagine with a lot of data, statistics, and also I cannot but put my two pence here to say that you must have yourself felt a lot of emotional ups and downs while you are dealing with such a delicate subject, we can say. Also, a
Absolutely.
subject which has been affecting our society negatively. And that's why I said you being a man raising a voice means a lot for many, many women around here. So while you have researched so well, you have so many stats in your book, Top Raman. Tell us a little about what is the term PWDVA stand for. Tell us a few points about that so that
So
the viewers are more clear about that.
yeah, so this is Protection of Women Against Domestic Violence Act,
Okay.
PWDVA.
UDA. Okay.
So it's an act which provides for protection of the rights of women who are victims of violence in the family or matters related to the family. It protects mothers, daughters, wives, sisters, and also live-in partners.
So live-in is included. The live-in
Yes.
has a
Yeah,
okay.
that is such a broad-minded, or should I say, an egalitarian approach of this act that it also includes, recognizes live-in partners. A truly significant aspect of this act is the wide definition of domestic violence. You would be amazed to know that it's not only physical violence, it is also sexual abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and economic abuse. And also, it is not that a woman has to be subjected to prolonged violence. Even a single case is enough for her to seek redressal. I hope you remember the movie Thappad.
Yes.
So that's what makes this act truly special.
And now that we are already talking about the PWDVA, Protection of Women Against Domestic, no, Protection of Women Against Domestic Violence Act. Did I put it correctly?
Yeah.
So while you were researching, Top Raman, and you had a very interesting experience that you visited the NGO Shakti and heard face to face with a few victims of domestic abuse. How did that experience shape your book? Share with us something about that.
Yeah. That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had, like many people, notions that it's only women who are uneducated, who are not financially independent,
Hmm.
they are subjected to domestic violence.
Hmm. Hmm.
But they don't have anywhere to go.
Hmm.
And I was also I had the notion that it's always the men inflicting violence of different kind on
Hmm.
women. But let me
Hmm.
share a particular case study, just a few vignettes.
Hmm. Hmm.
The owner of this Shakti, NGO Shakti, when we talked to her, so she said that you'll be surprised to know that even if a woman is financially independent, educated,
Hmm.
liberated,
Hmm.
she can still be subjected to domestic violence. And
Domestic
she
violence.
quoted her own case.
Hmm.
She was a copywriter
Hmm.
in an advertising agency. She'd fallen in love with a client
Hmm.
servicing person in the same
Hmm.
ad agency, and
Hmm.
soon things turned so bad that she had to leave. She had to quit and walk
Hmm.
away from the marriage, despite being a professional, financially
Educated. Hmm.
independent,
Hmm.
educated,
Hmm.
aware, and
Hmm.
liberated. Then I've taken another case study where the mother-in-law
Hmm.
throws the daughter-in-law out of the house
Hmm.
because she has given birth to three daughters.
Girls. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Three girls. Actually, she gave birth to two girls, and the third, when she was forced to again try for conception, the
Hmm.
third
Hmm.
child, there was some sex determination test,
Hmm.
and found that she's also a daughter, a
Hmm.
girl.
Hmm. Hmm.
So she went in for an abortion, which went completely wrong. So it was the
Hmm.
doctor told her that she cannot conceive again. The
Hmm.
mother-in-law threw her out, and the
Hmm.
son, Pambi son, didn't even raise his voice. So here it's the woman against the woman,
Women.
emotional
Hmm.
torture,
Hmm.
physical torture, mental torture. So that's how I realized that you can't straitjacket domestic violence into
Hmm.
silos, that only
Yeah.
this is
Hmm.
violence and this is done by only these kind of people, only this
Hmm.
class of people are subjected to it.
Hmm.
No, there are no
Hmm.
stereotypes. It can happen to anybody.
Yes. And that, like, my next question is related to something that you just mentioned. It's women against women sometimes, but at the same time, there have been instances of the misuse of PWDVA. Have any steps been taken to address this issue? Like while you were researching, what did you find out about this fact?
Yeah, in the media also, you must have seen in the recent past, there have been many cases where even men have committed suicide, because of this kind of misuse. So it is
Mm-hmm.
not misuse of PWDA per se. It is
Hmm.
actually misuse of a section of
Hmm.
which is called 498A of the
Hmm.
Indian Penal Code or
Hmm.
IPC,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
is subjected to misuse. So
Hmm.
in July 2017, the Supreme Court issued guidelines to prevent the misuse of Section 498A of
Hmm.
IPC.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
directed setting up of family welfare committees
Hmm.
in every district, and these were to be set up by district legal services authorities.
Hmm.
And who constitute these committees? You can have paralegal volunteers, social workers, retired persons,
Hmm.
or any citizen who's willing and which the setting up committee feels is suitable to be a part of this community, this
Hmm.
committee.
Hmm.
All 498 complaints are examined by the Family Welfare Committee, which
Hmm.
has to submit a report within 2 months. No arrest can be made by the police till this committee submits its report. There
Hmm.
are some exceptions if they
Hmm.
feel that the victim is
Hmm.
facing threat of death or extreme violence, only
Hmm.
then an exception can be made. Now,
Hmm.
why has the Supreme Court done this?
Hmm.
There is strong logic to it. They feel that many times the woman or her
Hmm.
family members,
Hmm.
particularly the woman,
Hmm.
files a case
Hmm.
or approaches the police in the
Hmm.
heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Some incident happens, there is
Hmm.
anger, there is
Hmm.
agitation, and
Hmm.
she files. And the repercussions are very, very serious because once you go to the police, and if an immediate arrest is made, then the process of reconciliation is hampered, and in many cases, it cannot happen at all.
Hmm.
Supreme Court believes
Hmm.
that the institution of marriage is sacred. It
Hmm.
should not depend, or it should not be subjected to the whims of a particular mood or
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
particular need.
Hmm.
Sometimes there have been cases where women have filed, uh, gone to the police and filed a report only to extort money from their
Hmm.
male partners or
Hmm.
husbands.
Hmm.
There
Hmm.
are such cases also. So
Hmm.
this particular setting up of family welfare committee prevents this kind of an action and leaves, and it gives you that cooling off period. Suppose the
Hmm.
woman is very agitated, she's
Hmm. Hmm.
responding to a particular action,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
deems beyond repair. But if
Hmm.
you have a cooling period of 1 month or 2 months, then saner minds will prevail. The families get together many times,
Hmm.
friends get together, and that extreme step is not taken,
Hmm.
and things don't go beyond a particular point. So I
Point.
think
Hmm.
this particular intervention initiative by the Supreme Court needs to be lauded, and this
Hmm.
aspect, more and more people should come to know that
Hmm.
this statute exists, and people should take full support of this.
There
Now,
is a,
let me just
yeah, yeah.
add that
Please continue. Hmm.
in
Hmm.
this book, I've also taken a case study
Hmm.
of a woman who is independent
Hmm.
financially, and she has an affair with her
Hmm.
senior colleague. And
Hmm.
what she does is
Hmm.
she plans to file a case of domestic violence against her husband to
Hmm.
extort money. The
Hmm.
husband comes to know, and he takes certain steps,
Hmm.
proactive steps.
Hmm.
To
Hmm.
know what
Hmm.
he does, you'll have to read the book.
Yes. I was just going to say that it brings me to one part of the book while I was reading through it, that you have put a set of FAQs, and I'm sure they are not the way it is put in the real legal books, because we know that the way the laws and the articles and it is written is a very tough language for a common man. Sometimes even we as educated people are a little confused, perturbed about the language.
Absolutely.
You have simplified some very pertinent details in your book related to the rights of a person suffering from domestic abuse. So, this simplification as a writer, like what was the process? How did you go through that? Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is very, very important, Nivedita, because
Hmm.
one of the most important reasons for this, the issue of domestic violence not being addressed,
Hmm.
is ignorance. And
Hmm.
this ignorance often stems from the fact that these legal statutes are so difficult to understand, like you said, even for educated people. So, what
Hmm.
I've done is I've tried to demystify. I've
Hmm.
added a number of FAQs, which I'll tell you. But if I
Hmm.
just read out from the blurb, you'll get
Hmm.
an idea of what exactly my objective was. So, when
Yeah,
silence
please go ahead.
speaks, yeah, when silence speaks, uncovers the brutal truth behind the hidden pandemic of domestic violence that affects millions of women
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
men too. This
Hmm.
book, supported by real life case studies and expert legal advice, I've got each and every aspect vetted by three lawyers.
Hmm.
Yeah, demystifies the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, explaining its provisions in an easy, comprehensible way. It
Hmm.
also offers a stark look at the emotional and physical toll of abusive relationships while highlighting the crucial role played by NGOs and activists in supporting victims.
Mm-hmm.
More than just a call for awareness, it urges conversations that will hopefully lead to long term and effective solutions against the deadly scourge of domestic violence. So, that
Violence.
has been my basic idea and objective in writing the book, making it as simple, as comprehensible as possible. And like you mentioned, I've included some very basic FAQs, like uh, what there might be instances where a woman is
Mm-hmm.
being abused at home, but she doesn't come out in the open because she's fearing the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the warning signs of domestic abuse? How does a third person know that the woman is being subjected, woman, and in some cases the man is being
Men. Ah.
subjected to
Mm-hmm.
domestic abuse? Even simple things like the woman may be afraid or anxious to please their partner. She's making that extra effort. She goes along with everything their partner says and does, then
Mm-hmm.
receives frequent harassing phone calls from their partner and has frequent injuries, and she labels them as accidents. I
Accidents.
came across
That is
some
very common. Mm.
so common.
Mm. Mm.
Then frequently misses work or school or social occasions without
Mm.
explanation.
Mm.
Then again, Nivedita,
Mm.
she dresses in clothing designed to hide bruises or scars. Now tell me,
Yeah.
how hurting is that? Just
Mm.
imagine the condition of the woman in this case.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
then she shows major personality changes. She or
Mm.
he,
Mm.
like an outgoing person, can become an extremely withdrawn,
Withdrawn. Mm.
anxious, or
Mm.
even suicidal. So,
Mm.
what do you do if you know that someone is the victim of domestic violence? You realize that he or she is a victim
Mm.
of domestic
Mm.
violence. What
Mm.
should you do? So, ask if something is wrong. Be upfront. Don't
Mm.
think it's not my business. It is
Mm.
everybody's business. It is the
Business.
society's business.
Mm.
Express concern. Listen and validate.
Mm.
Listen and validate. Offer help.
Mm.
Support his or her decisions.
Mm.
And don't wait for him or her to come to you. Nivedita,
Mm.
this is so important.
I
We feel
know.
it is not our business, or we feel
Mm.
we say something, she or he might feel bad.
Bad.
No, it is our business as a social being. We have to reach out to our friends. It is our
Mm.
duty. Why should I say business? I would say it's our duty.
Duty.
Yeah, don't judge or blame. Our society is so steeped in patriarchy. Many
Mm.
a time we immediately assign the blame to the woman, and then we
Mm.
say that
Mm.
adjust kar lo. Even in that
Mm. Mm.
third, the lawyer says, I've also been subjected. It's only one-off incident. एक बार ही तो
Mm.
हुआ है. Adjust कर
Ah.
लो.
Ah.
And this adjust kar lo, especially for a woman, has become a tagline in our society
Society.
because of the
Correct.
patriarchal values. So
Mm.
please never ever say adjust kar lo. Try to find out the reasons, find out the trauma, then give advice. And then I've also touched upon something very important which is not discussed.
Mm.
The the issue of marital rape.
Mm.
Now, what is marital rape?
Mm.
The law defines it as marital rape or spousal rape means indulging in sexual intercourse with one's spouse without their consent. Now,
Consent.
how many women are subjected to this on a day-to-day basis? I don't have to reveal statistics,
Mm. Mm.
so
Correct.
widespread. And the
Mm.
sad part, Nivedita, is
Mm.
that India is among the 36 countries that still has not criminalized marital rape.
Rape.
That is a huge lacuna. And
Mm.
I would appeal to the lawmaking authorities to
Mm.
correct this huge blemish in our legal
Mm.
system. Then I've also given the strategies for preventing domestic violence.
Mm.
Simple ones which all
Mm.
of us can be aware of, like creating awareness about the law.
First is
understanding
this. Hmm.
understanding and talking about consent. You
Hmm.
remember the movie, Pink? No
Yes.
means no.
No is a
That
sentence, correct?
single line
Hmm. Hmm.
defined the movie, defined the kind of dilemma
Hmm.
which women face, and the kind of
Hmm.
mindset which men have when they treat
Hmm.
women like their personal property.
Hmm.
Then I've also talked about some more ways of creating awareness and
Hmm.
preventing domestic violence. Engage
Yeah.
in productive activity. This is for
Hmm.
all of us.
Yes.
Then promote gender equality.
Hmm.
That is so important. I'm sure you'll agree with me that in our
Hmm.
society, it is still, like I said,
Hmm.
very deeply tilted towards the man. The
Yeah.
patriarchy is still
Hmm.
existing. Yeah,
Hmm.
ways in which we can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Then join support groups that speak up against domestic violence, and
Correct.
a few other points which I've
Hmm.
raised.
Hmm.
Then I've also given a list of support groups and NGOs for
Hmm.
women facing domestic violence. I've given
Hmm.
their addresses, URLs, links,
Hmm.
so that if anybody is actually facing
Hmm.
and she's afraid of coming out to in the open with her relatives or friends, she can
Hmm.
approach these organizations. I've also
Organization.
given names of support groups and NGOs for
Hmm.
men who are facing this issue of domestic violence.
And I am so, my mind is working with, first of all, thank you so much for simplifying it for all of us. Ramendra, I also want that if just one more time you can raise your book and let our viewers who joined us right now, which is Anup Jalanji, Surekha, Hema, Raviji, and Santosh Bakaya ji is here. I'm so happy to see her. Um so,
So this is on Amazon
yes.
and also on the website of the publisher Readomania.
Hmm.
And I'm happy to share that this book was a bestseller on Amazon in its category.
Yeah. You have mentioned that. I think I
Yeah,
added that in our intro also.
yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity as being one of the people who is representing Literary Warrior Group right now on the studio here. And I would like to first of all thank and say kudos to Ramendra Kumar as an author, being a man, being a part of a society which is so patriarchal, as he said, steeped in patriarchal systems. But here is a man who's raising his voice, who's encouraging us women to stand. And something that you said, Top Raymond, really touched my heart to say that ये कह के चुप मत रह जाओ कि ये मेरा बिजनेस नहीं है, मैं उनके सामने कैसे बोल सकता हूँ या बोल सकती हूँ। कभी कभी शायद विक्टिम सिर्फ इस बात का इंतजार कर रही होती है या कर रहा होता है कि कोई शायद मुझे प्यार से पूछ ले तो शायद मैं अपना बर्डन शेयर कर लूं।
बिल्कुल, कभी-कभी डूबने वाले को सिर्फ एक तिनके का सहारा
तिनके का
चाहिए।
सहारा चाहिए। And like you and me, like it's your book, I know that you have mentioned case studies with the permission, and in our everyday life when we meet people we know it is happening, but out of the fear of society, the societal pressure, we say यार अरे कैसे बोल दें, उनको बुरा ना लग जाए, क्या करेगा,
बिल्कुल,
हमारी दोस्ती ना खराब हो जाए।
एग्ज़ैक्टली,
और
एग्ज़ैक्टली। दे शुड नॉट
बट हम
कंस्ट्रू
उसमें
इट एज़
शामिल हैं।
इंटरफेरेंस,
हाँ,
इंट्रूजन।
हाँ, लेकिन शायद कहीं अनजाने में unknowingly we are becoming a part to add to that abuse at that very moment by not
Absolutely.
supporting.
That is such an important point you have raised, Nivedita. Hats off to you. Kudos to you for this.
And which brings me to the title that you have so aptly chosen, When Silence Speaks. And thank you, Aparna ji, for joining in. And also, Santosh ji said, she says, kudos. I write something, she said, very timely written. So this is one thing I just came to my mind, Topraman, and I don't want this meeting to go end without me asking. You are the one who has done so much of vast study, research, and I am so proud of you as a friend to say that you have consulted three lawyers. You just did not write this book randomly. You went through a proper process because you knew you were dealing with something which is so pertinent for our society.
True.
Have you felt as a writer that during COVID times, when the whole world changed the way we were living and functioning in our daily lives, did this very, very big monster raise its heads a little higher? Or the awareness about this became a little more? What do you think as a writer? What have you felt in the recent
Uh,
times?
I believe that yes, the monster grew stronger,
Mm-hmm.
grew more heinous, because here the husband and wife or partners were living together in the confines of a home, 24/7 for days together. So yes, there were more instances of domestic violence. That's what the newspapers reported, news channels reported, and also that led to a greater awareness. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like we mentioned in your intro that you are a very, very big reputed children's story writer. That's how you have been, and we have had talks. And like I read in your introduction, you already have around 54 books to your credits, and about your children's books are selling 1.5 million copies, a dream for every writer. But here you are. You have fought your personal battle. You are more keen to write children's stories. And here is a thought that occurred to somebody who himself can be called the patriarch of the family. You have a family of your own. And here you are who gave it a thought, who researched, which is not easy, visiting NGOs, making notes, then confirming it. And something that you just mentioned before we went online, would you like to share something about it, Opraman?
In fact, I would say that
Hmm, hmm,
research is a continual process.
hmm,
In fact, today I came across a particular article
hmm,
which talked about this family welfare committees as becoming redundant or something. So then I
hmm,
was
hmm,
worried. So
hmm,
I rang up the lawyer friend who had vetted the book earlier and had a discussion
hmm,
with him, and he sent
hmm,
me a link which states that the
hmm,
Supreme Court has once again
hmm,
reiterated and reinstated that particular initiative or that particular
hmm,
aspect of the law, which
hmm,
says that the family welfare committees are very much there, very much
hmm,
relevant, very much
hmm,
validated, and
hmm.
without their consent, the man cannot be arrested. So today at 11 o'clock, I had this, conversation. So it's a continual process because our legal system is also, evolving.
Evolving and at times upgrading itself. And there is something that you had mentioned to me while we were in a conversation preparing for the show. Uh, you wrote a graphic comic book on the POXO Act. Would you like to take this opportunity to also talk a little bit about that? Because that also is a part of legal act involving abuse. I would like to
Absolutely.
hear from you. Hmm.
So this is the book. It is on the POXO Act, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act.
Hmm.
This is a comic book,
Hmm.
and I was commissioned by an organization called Butterflies,
Hmm.
which is practicing from Delhi. It works with street children, working children, the
Hmm.
most vulnerable section of our society.
Hmm.
And this also had the support of Human Dignity Foundation, this
Hmm.
particular book. So it
Hmm.
took me quite some time to do research. And here,
Hmm.
Nivedita, again, it was
Hmm.
even more difficult than writing this domestic violence book, because
I'm
here I was
sure.
addressing tender minds,
Hmm.
uh, young children between the age of 10 to 12 or 10 to 14. So I had to break down the act into very simple language, use case studies,
Hmm.
and also to
Hmm.
talk about sexual offense. Now,
Hmm.
there I had to be very, very careful when I'm giving an example
Hmm. Hmm.
that I should not, it should be child appropriate. It should not hurt the sensibilities of the young,
Hmm.
vulnerable, and innocent minds. And
Hmm.
particularly when it's a graphic novel or a comic book, when you
Hmm.
have to illustrate that particular
Hmm.
case study, you can imagine how careful I had to be. And
Hmm.
also breaking the particular act into very simple language where the
Language.
children are, taught
Hmm.
talked to about it, are
Hmm.
in everyday language, giving everyday examples. And I'm happy to say that this was also translated into Hindi, and it was distributed to children across the country. And the link is there on the website. I'll share it with you.
Sure.
Yeah. So this was something
So,
which I believe is one of my most heartwarming, enriching, and fulfilling contributions as a writer.
yeah. Santoshji says we are seeing the Mad Hatter in a very different light altogether, and what a light. Yeah, Santoshji, totally agree with you. And I was so happy when Top Raman wanted this discussion to happen, and I'm so happy that I could be a part, even if for a half an hour, 35 minutes of this journey, because it has been so, what should I say, very inspiring, first of all, very creating awareness. So I just want to say a four, five things that Ramendra has mentioned during the show, especially through his book and the talk that we have had today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take this. Let's take this torch in our hands, getting inspired by a writer who has made efforts to create this awareness, raise his voice through his writing. We can raise it in our everyday life by supporting each other and strongly believing within ourselves in gender equality. And ultimately, someday it will start seeping into the fabric of our society. It will happen. It takes one. So Ramendra has taken the courage, he has written a book, he has simplified it, he has given us all for, and for also for that. Please try to grab this book from Amazon. Trust me, viewers, I have read his book and I have seen how it is not a novel, it is not actually an essay. It is a hard work which has been researched. He has been a visitor. He has talked to people and he has also consulted minimum of 3 lawyers before he put it into his word and gave it for publishing. And one must go through it, definitely. So, Top Rahman, I want to once again thank you for joining us, joining the LWG page, and also Neelam, because of whom, through, I got connected with you, and especially because of Santoshji. And so we are both happy she's here. What would you like to say as a parting note for our viewers?
So I have written a poem. I have written a poem
Mm-hmm.
on this silent pandemic. I call domestic violence the silent pandemic.
Silent pandemic.
So let me just read out to you. Confined spaces, crammed lives, festering minds, angst ridden hearts, splintered hopes, the enemy within lashing out, the victims, the other half of till death do us part pledge, or partners in their in love and or lust. The nowhere persons, these are the guys who are the victims, man or woman. The nowhere persons, their every journey on the highway of pain, only a dead end in sight. In houses, in homes, in chawls, in villas, in slums, in mansions, in villages, in cities. The silent pandemic etching its indelible presence on bodies, souls, and psyches. The silent pandemic etching its indelible presence on bodies, souls, and psyches. I really hope and pray that we see an end to this silent pandemic. Thank you.
As we say, amen to that. Top Raman, I just want to read a little bit of your life before we end this show. Ramendra has appeared at international literacy festivals and many Indian events, including the Jaipur Literature Festival. He has served as a jury member for the Times of India's Women Author Awards, mentored writers at the Scholastic Writers Academy, and was named Author and Storyteller of the Year. And we have no doubts why he was given that award. He is an engineer and an MBA. He left his role as the general manager, corporate communications sale, to pursue his true calling, writing, storytelling, and inspiring lives. And why I chose and left the part of your introduction for the end is, Top Raman, I want to say, continue writing, continue your beautiful storytelling, and continue to inspire lives. We wish you all the best. We wish your quill all the best. And I hope that very soon I would like to connect with you on the same page, and we'll sometime talk about a few of your children's book that you have written in the
Sure,
months to come.
sure. Thank
And
you.
thank you as a woman, as an anchor, as a woman who has spoken to you, has read your word. I would like to represent the, what we say, the other half of the population, and say thank you for being a man and raise a voice against something that many of us are still suffering and not speaking out about. So thank you
Thank
for
you.
taking this
Thank you so
initiative.
much. It was a pleasure and privilege. Thank you.
It's our privilege as well. And to the people who joined us, Santosh Bakaya ji, Aparna ji, uh, Hema Ravi ji was here, Anup Jalan ji was there, Sureka Sahu. She's one of our LWG admins, and she herself is a cancer survivor and a warrior.
Wow.
And I'm very happy that she joined, and she was hearing, and she was continuously sending comments. So with this inspiration from this epitome of resilience named Ramendra Kumar, we say a tata bye-bye and a very good night to all our viewers. And thank you once again, Top Raman.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.